Using shortcuts in Excel can help save you a lot of time. And odds are, even if you're an advanced user, you probably don't know of every possible shortcut that you can use or that might be helpful to you. And rather than looking online, what you can do is access Copilot and ask it for specific shortcuts or ideas for shortcuts that you may want to use. So if I open up Copilot, I'm going to put in a request for, I'm going to start with just something really generic for, let's say you're a new user. You just want to get an idea of some of the shortcuts you may want to use. I can say, okay, what are some common shortcuts? So I'm not giving it any sort of direction. You could ask it for specific shortcuts related to, let's say, date and time, pivot tables, and whatever else you're working on to get more focused shortcuts. But in this first prompt, I'm just going to ask it for just a generic range of shortcuts aimed at, ideally new users who may not be familiar with them. So we've got a lot of the common ones: Control N to create a new workbook, Control O to open, S to save, P to print, Control C and Control V are really common ones for copying and pasting, Control X to cut, Control Z to undo, Control Y to redo. So this gives you a good list of shortcuts to try out if you're specifically if you're a new user. But let's say you're an advanced user and you may be looking for something outside of this. We can say, okay, what are some less commonly known shortcuts? So in this example, I'm challenging Copilot to give me something new beyond just the regular Control C, Control V, that sort of stuff. I want to find shortcuts that I may not have considered or am familiar with. And over the years, Excel's evolved. There's been a lot more functionality. So let's see what it comes back with. So it's giving me 15 different shortcuts that I can potentially use here. So Alt ESV, for example, is going to give me the paste special dialog. If I do Control semicolon, it's going to insert the current date. Control Shift semicolon is going to insert the current time. Alt and Enter is going to start a new line in the same cell. So for example, if I type in Alt and Enter here and open up this formula bar, you can see that my cursor is now in the line below. So I can type in something else, date, time, right? So if I wanted to, I can fit more data into one of these cells. So that's a good shortcut to know. Control 0 to hide the selected column. So I've got column A selected here. If I do Control 0, it's going to hide that one for me. Control Z is going to undo. I go back into there. So a lot of different shortcuts that you can experiment with and learn about. So Control Shift U, for example, is going to expand or collapse the formula bar. So if I'm in the formula bar, Control Shift U, collapse and expand. So a lot of different ideas that you can potentially get here from different shortcuts you may benefit from. And so Copilot makes it really easy because rather than going to look online, you can enter a prompt here. You can say, oh, give us another 10 shortcuts we may possibly want to use, or it lists some shortcuts related to pivot tables, to formatting, whatever the case may be. It gives us a lot of different ideas and ways that we can learn about different shortcuts that we may not have known about. So a really underrated feature of Copilot is you can learn a lot more about Excel, even if you think all there is to know about it, or if you're an advanced user. There's still a lot of things that can help give you ideas about different shortcuts, different functionalities, and things that you can do. And this example, shortcuts, is just one aspect of that. So I'd encourage you, if you have access to Copilot, try to ask it for shortcuts related to specific tasks that you're working on, and that might give you ideas as to some of the ways that it can help you in your day-to-day tasks that you may not have known about.